Good afternoon, Facebook, YouTube, Dailymotion, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for your second video blog of the day for Friday, February 27th, 2015, around 4:23 in the afternoon in Billerica, Massachusetts. Nice and sunny, but very cold. What else is new in this area? Some news to report. Rey Mysterio Jr., former WWE, IC, and World Heavyweight Champion, has left the company. His name is now on the WWE alumni section of WWE.com. He was with the WWE for almost 13 years. Rey Mysterio is probably going to wrestle in Mexico. And sad news to report in the world of entertainment. Actor-director Leonard Nimoy, famous for playing Spock on Star Trek and 7 Star Trek feature films, and also Mission Impossible, passed away at the age of 83 due to COPD. And live long and prosper, Spock. That's about it on that. My next subject is about sports radio, WEEI, 93.7 FM in Boston. Sports radio WEEI was once the most popular radio station in the United States, and it was the top radio station in Boston. But in recent years, they have lost a step, and they're not even the best sports radio station in Boston. That's overtaken by Sports Hub 98.5 WBZ-FM. And the story of WEI, many years ago, WEEI was a news talk radio station on the AM dial 590. They had news most all the day, and they were affiliated with the CBS radio network. By the mid-80s, WEEI was experimenting with sports talk at night. They had the sports anchors Bob Melvin and John Carlson and Dave Shea host a nightly talk show. Plus, they were the flagship radio home of the New England Patriots and the Boston Celtics radio games in the Boston market. Plus, they had like the syndicated CBS Radio Monday Night Football, CBS Major League Baseball games, and they also had the NBA games on the radio, provided the Celtics weren't like in the playoffs. And also they had college football bowl games, and plus they had the sports final like programming syndicated, which was Star Communications in Boston, which Ted Sarandis once hosted, and future WEI program director Jason Wolf hosted as well. And also they had Sports Coast to Coast Sunday nights with Bob Costas. And by like 1990, WEI used an experiment for like having news during the mornings and afternoons to 4 p.m. But from 4 p.m. to like early the next morning, they experimented with sports talk from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. They had Eddie Anderman's Anything Goes, because they got that godfather of sports radio in Boston from the old WHDH. From 7 to 11, they had Craig Mustard's sports talk show, and from 11 to 5 in the morning, they had Sports Byline USA. Also, the 1990 WEI became this flagship home to the Boston Bruins hockey games, plus the Boston Celtics basketball games, and they still had NFL, NBA, and Major League Baseball coverage for the radio. And the sports talk show segment of WEI was, the ratings went through the roof, and WEI converted from an all-news radio station to the first Boston all-sports radio station on September 3rd, 1991. Some of the early hosts for like WEI around that time was Andy Mose, and they also had Dale Arnold and Glenn Ordway, Eddie Anderman, Craig Mustard, Dave Shea, and a few others. They had Sports Byline USA and the Sports Final and Coast to Coast on Sunday nights, and they still had the Celtics and Bruins games, and they also had Major League Baseball, NFL, and NBA games, plus the college bowl games. And the Sports Radio 590 AM was a big hit. The ratings went through the roof, became the most popular radio station in Boston, radio market and stuff. And in 1993, they dropped like the Andy Mole's program for the the syndicated Don Imus show, which ran on WEI for 6 years, from like the summer of 1993 to the summer of 1999, which was pretty good. In 1994, WEI was sold to American Radio Systems, which that company eventually evolved into Entercom, and they moved WEI's frequency from 590 to 850, taking the old WHDH spot. And 1995 was a watershed moment for WEI because they acquired the rights to the flagship home of the Boston Red Sox games, which was on the sister station WRKO. Plus, they had acquired BC College football and basketball games. But they lost the rights to the Boston Bruins radio games to WBZ radio. And also in 1995, they picked up this fabulous Sports Babe syndicated radio show, aired from 10 to noon time, and they teamed Dale Arnold and Eddie Anderman, and they called themselves the A-Team. Plus, in addition, they had Glenn Ordway, the Big Show on the Big Show, which was pretty popular, and they had Ted Sarandis, Ted Nation. It's a Ted Nation. It's a Ted Nation. Plus, they had Celtics and Red Sox and Boston College sports play-by-play, plus the syndicated stuff, which went from Sports Byline, USA, and Sports Final to ESPN Radio and the Sports Fan Radio Network, and they still had like the syndicated programs, and the ratings for WEI continued to grow and grow and grow, and they had WEI t-shirts, WEI merchandise. Everybody was liking sports radio, WEI 850. 1997, they added John Dennis and Jerry Callahan's radio show from 10 to noon time, replacing this fabulous Sports Babe. And John Dennis used to be a sports anchor in Boston on Channel 7, and Jerry Callahan wrote for the Boston Herald and Sports Illustrated. That became a big hit, and by 1999, they booted Don Imus syndicated radio show from 6 to 10, and Dennis and Callahan has been from 6 to 10 ever since 1999. 2001, but some changes to WEEI. WEEI lost the rights to the Celtics radio games. They went to WWZN. They had a challenge from WWZN as a sports talk show. Eddie Anderman left in the end of 2001 to join WWZN, and also other changes happened as well. Like Bob Newmeyer replaced Eddie Anderman, and he teamed with Dale Arnold to host a talk show. And also other changes. Sports Fan Radio Network went bust, and it was replaced by Fox Sports Radio and JT the Brick overnights. And they still had Red Sox games, and the ever popular Ted Nation, and also the Big Show with the Big O, and they still had Boston College basketball and football games, which was pretty good. And they had the success. And 2004 was a big year for WEI. That was the first year in 86 years the Boston Red Sox won the World Series. They had decked out all coverage of the Red Sox post game. They went through the night when they won the World Series on October 27, 2004. Ted Sarandis hosted that game, the talk show, which was pretty good. Ted Nation was so popular. So also the Big Show with the Big O and Dale and Knew Me. 2005, Bob Newmeyer left WEI, and he was replaced by Michael Hawley. Also in the fall of 2005, Ted Sarandis left. WEI was replaced by Mike Adams, the Mikey Adams Show, Planet Mikey with Lenny Megliera and John Ryder. 2007 was another big change for WEI. They only broadcast 30 Red Sox games, mainly on Wednesday nights and some opening days and some day games. The rest of them went to WRKO, their sister station. But 2007, the Boston Celtics came back to WEI on a long-term contract, Grandy and Max, and that was a big thing because in 2008 the Boston Celtics won the NBA World Championship, and Cedric Maxwell says, "I got the ball," and they broadcast like overnight the celebration and stuff like that. And there were challenges for WEI around this time. ESPN 890 and 1400, Boston and Lawrence tried to challenge WEI through the 2005-2009 time frame, but they didn't put a dent in the ratings of WEI. But in August of 2009, biggest challenge for WEI was the Sports Hub, which was 98.5 FM on the FM dial, and that hurt WEI's ratings and stuff. There were rumors WEI was going to go to FM, but that rumor didn't happen. But also around the summer of 2009, Boston Red Sox games returned to WEI, period. All 162 games. And there were a lot of changes coming in 2011 to WEI. The ratings were going south. Dale Arnold was booted from full-time duty to part-time and spot duty. They teamed Big Show, Glenn Ordway with Michael Hawley, but that didn't work out. And also, Jason Wolf got axed as program director of WEI. The ratings were falling through the roof. But also, in September of 2011, WEI moved to the FM dial, 93.7, replacing the old Mike FM, and they still kept the simulcast of 8:50 a.m. WEI for about a year, but in September 2012, 8:50 a.m. is now the full-time affiliate of ESPN Radio in Boston, but sometimes they might have a Boston College basketball game or a Boston College hockey game and maybe some overflowing programs. And sports radio WEI 93.7 was probably good on the FM dial, but it couldn't beat the Sports Hub WBZ FM. And continuing more changes, the Big Show was fired in 2013. The Big O was gone, Glenn Ordway was gone, and also they did not renew the rights to the Celtics games on the radio, which went to their competition, Sports Hub. But also in 2013, the Boston Red Sox won the World Series for the third time in 10 years, and the ratings for WEI were very high. Also, 2013, Pete Shepard quit on WEI on the air, and he went to other radio stations in the market. And WEI 93.7 is still around. It's still kicking, and they still have popular hosts with Dennis and Callahan from 6 to 10, which they do pretty good ratings. And they have Dale Arnold and Michael Hawley reunited from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., which they get good ratings. Planet Mikey show is pretty good. I love listening to Planet Mikey show from 6 to 10 p.m. And I love it when they say, call in now, buttholes. They substitute butt for you know what. I'm not going to say that. And WEI in next year could be a critical year for them, because that's when the Red Sox contract expires on the radio, and there's rumors they've been losing money on it, and there's rumors that the Red Sox might buy into WEI because Entercom is faltering as company. Ratings for WAAF and WRKO are tanking, and I just hope WEI does not lose the Red Sox games on the radio over the summer to the Sports Hub, because that would create, they will have no Boston play-by-play teams, unless if somehow one of the teams could become radio rights could become available, because I heard some rumor going around that the Boston Bruins kind of have an out clause in a contract with WBZ at any time, WBZ FM. So if the Boston Red Sox somehow go to the Sports Hub, then the Boston Bruins could explore the opt-out, and that could mean the Boston Bruins radio games could go on WEI in whenever. But, the Bruins are not a popular team right now, but the WEI might take them. But I still believe WEI will somehow, by hook or by crook, keep the Boston Red Sox games on the radio past 2016 because they've been the flagship home for the Boston Red Sox for almost 20 years, give or take a couple of years that they were on WRKO. And that's about it on Sports Radio WEI 93.7 FM. Well, I'll be back for the third and final video blog of the night, which will be about former NFL coach Dennis Green. And don't forget Facebook friends, YouTube followers, Daily Motion, and Twitter. No more top 10 list of anything and anything into maybe April, because that's going on a month-long hiatus because March Madness stuff is coming to these blogs. See you later.